Here's 64. 3 over square root of 3 minus 1. Let's rationalize the denominator. This is a case where there are two terms in your denominator, different from the first, for example. So you can do here is to multiply this by not only one radical, but could be a sum of two terms, two radicals, or could be a radical by a number. In order to rationalize this, we have to use conjugates. What do you mean by conjugates? When you look for a conjugate of square root of 3 minus 1, simply reverse the operation. So square root of 3 minus 1, its conjugate will be square root of 3 plus 1. So it's like a product of your a plus b, a minus b. Those are conjugates. Okay? And so we have you have to multiply this by the conjugate of your denominator, square root of 3 plus 1. And then your denominator is also square root of 3 plus 1. So that our denominator will be rationalized. So we have 3 numerator times square root of 3 plus 1. How do you multiply this? Your a plus b times a minus b equals a squared minus b squared, right? So it's the same thing here. Square root of 3 minus 1 times square root of 3 plus 1 forms the form a squared minus b squared. Let's work with the numerator first. 3 times square root of 3, can you multiply 3? No, because 1 is radical. So we can just write 3 square root of 3. And 3 times 1, 3 plus 3. This is how you multiply conjugates. To multiply conjugates, just multiply this and this. Don't FOIL it anymore, because if you FOIL it, you will end up with the same answer. You'll cancel out the middle terms because it's 0. It's to avoid doing so many steps, you can simply multiply this. But again, you can only do this when they are conjugates. If they are not conjugates, you FOIL it. Okay? So square root of 3 times square root of 3, square root of 9. Negative 1 times 1, negative 1. Okay. There's nothing else left to do with the numerator. Just copy that. 3 square root of 3 plus 3, but square root of 9 is 3 minus 1. Okay, so we have 3 square root of 3 plus 3 all over 2. And now your denominator is rational. So we have 3 square root of 3 plus 3 over 2. Here's another example. Square root of 3 over square root of 3 minus 2. So what's the conjugate of square root of 3 minus 2? Just the plus, right? Square root of 3 plus 2. Square root of 3 plus 2. Always look at your denominator. Therefore, you have square root of 3 times square root of 3 plus 2. Our square root of 3 minus 2 times square root of 3 plus 2. Can only multiply radical, right? Square root of 3 times square root of 3. Square root of 9. Square root of 3 times 2. Again, do not multiply if they are not both radicals. So what will you do? Is it square root of 6? No, it is plus 2 square root of 3. Can only multiply radicals together. How about this? Conjugates. Product of the conjugates. Square root of 9. Negative 2 times 2. -4. You have a square root of 9 here. It is 3. Last, just copy that. 3 minus 4. We have 3 plus 2 square root of 3 over 3 minus 4. Oh, wow. -1. Therefore, we can simplify it. 3 divided by -1. Going to be -3. 2 divided by -1. Going to be -2 square root of 3. And that's our final answer.